The presidency has tackled the outgoing president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, accusing him of talking like a politician, saying he talks his latest intervention in Nigeria's state of economy, that he talked like Peter Obi. And you know the government's obsession with Peter Obi. They said that Adesina talked like Peter Obi in his critique of the state of the Nigeria's economy right now under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Obviously, the presidency would have been happier if the outgoing African Development Bank president had showered encomium on Bola Ahmed Tinubu and described his reforms, so-called, as the best thing since sliced bread. But that was not what Adesina said. After taking a cursory look at the state of the Nigeria's economy today, Akinwumi Adesina, a respected technocrat, concluded that Nigerians are worse off today than they were in 1960. That offended the presidency, and they responded in a very harsh manner to him. In his response to Adesina, the special advisor to the president on media and strategy, communication and strategy, Bayo Onanoga, said that Adesina spoke like a politician in the mode of Peter Obi and did not do due diligence before making his unverifiable statement. End of quote. That is the summary of their take on the intervention of Adesina, that he spoke in the mode of Peter Obi and did not do due diligence before making his unverifiable statement. They say he didn't do due diligence. And that response was part of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government expression of displeasure over the intervention of the outgoing president of African Development Bank. And the president of African Development Bank, Adesina, said that Nigerians today are worse off than in 1960, noting that Nigeria's GDP, or gross domestic product per capita, in 1960 was $1,847, and that it is $824 today. The presidency was offended by this data by the erudite scholar who was one of the best performing ministers during the time of President Goodluck Jonathan, which paved the way for him to occupy the position he's occupying today. So this is somebody who is vast in aggregate economy. So he is somebody who is conversant with data. He gave us a data on GDP in 1960 and what it is today. Now, to be frank, I didn't know about Adesina's intervention until the presidency responded to it. So I didn't know the source that Adesina was citing when he said that the GDP per capita in 1960 was $1,847, and that today it has reduced to $824. But the presidency worsened their own case because they were accusing Adesina of using unverifiable data to arrive at his conclusion. But in response, Bayo Onanuga countered him. Interestingly, Bayo Onanuga said that according to available data, he started quoting giving us other data to counter, other figures to counter the data from Adesina. But he didn't give us the source of his own data too. All he put, if you read the whole lengthy statement, he said according to available data. Then he began to give us figures of what was the true GDP figure in 1960 and what it is today and all that. Now, given that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is known for propaganda, between the data by an eminent scholar like Adesina and that of a propagandist like Bayo Onanuga, who do you think should be believed or relied upon to give an accurate assessment of the state of Nigeria's economy in 1960 and what it is today? Are you going to rely on a propagandist like Bayo Onanuga, or you're going to rely on a technocrat like Dr. Akinwumi Adesina? Common sense shows you that there's no way you're going to believe the figure from Bayo Onanuga, who is not a technocrat in the area of economy. You can't believe his own side of this. Those figures he was bandying about. You can't believe on that. You have to believe the technocrat, somebody who has a reputation to keep, somebody who knows that his peers, other economists, they are going to look at what he presented and they can challenge him. So he had to do due diligence in coming out with the figure he gave. So I'm more prone to accept the figure from Dr. Adesina than to accept the figure from the presidency, knowing full well that they are notorious for propaganda. I don't know whether you get the picture. Because if you want to counter somebody like Adesina, who is an intellectual, who is a technocrat, a world-class technocrat, what you need to do is you have to present your data and tell us the source of your data so that we can also go and verify that source, so that you can be able to counter him. You give us the source. Where did you get the data? Is it from the World Bank? Is it from the IMF? Is it from where? Where did Bayo Onanuga get this figure he was bandying to counter the president of the African Development Bank? That to me explains it all. That what the presidency was doing is not actually a response. They are just expressing their anger that he didn't, that Adesina didn't praise their so-called reforms. But you ask yourself again, what is this their obsession with Peter Obi? Why must the presidency always insert Peter Obi into any discussion they are doing? Perhaps I will give a clue. I think the presidency is obsessed with Peter Obi because they know that he was the one they cheated in 2023. And they know that he remains a force in Nigerian politics. So they do everything to drag his name. Anytime they have anything negative to tell out there, they will have to drag Peter Obi's name inside it. The other day I was listening to Daniel Buala, the special assistant to the president on public policy, or special advisor communication on public policy, on policy. He was talking with TVC. Now, Nigerians have been complaining about the detention of the very dark man, the way he was detained and all that. But it was Peter Obi's own that was the issue of concern to them. Despite the fact that many Nigerian leaders, including those on the social media space, have said no, what they are doing to very dark man was a violation of his human right. But it was Peter Obi's intervention that is of much concern to them. That therefore gives the impression that ahead of 2027 election, the Tinubu camp appears to have concluded, as they did since after the election, that if they are going to have their way in 2027, everything must be done to put Peter Obi in check. Will they succeed? That is the challenge before the Nigerian people, whether they want their country to continue to be like this, whether they want their country to be a society whereby 1960 is better than 2025. That's a sad commentary of how low this country has sunk under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that's enough for Nigerians to say enough is enough and vote in the 2027 election and defend their vote as if their whole life depends on it. Because that's the only way to stop the rigging machinery and the propaganda that they will use to cover it up when it happens, is to vote and defend your vote as if your life depends on it. Unless that is done, then Nigerians will have to live with this shenanigan for the next 4 years. That's my take on this issue of federal government, the presidency in particular, tackling Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the president of the African Development Bank, for speaking truth to power, that they have ruined the economy, that Nigerians are worse off today than they were in 1960. Whatever is your position on this matter, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.